All right, let's jump into this deep dive. We're going deep on how to reinvent yourself as an English learner. Like hitting that reset button, especially if you're just getting started.
Yeah, fascinating stuff, really.
It's more than just tweaking your study plan, right? We're talking about like a total mindset shift, yeah?
Absolutely.
Like you're not stuck with the English skills you have right now. Is that?
You are not stuck.
Yeah. Change is possible. I like it.
It is totally possible.
So tell me more about this whole reinventing yourself thing. What does that even mean?
Well, a lot of it comes down to identity. You know how we see ourselves as English learners? I mean, our self-perception that really shapes our actions, you know?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's kind of like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way.
Oh, interesting.
If you're always saying, I'm terrible at English, you know, your brain will actually try to confirm that belief. You know what I mean?
Okay, so how does that work? Like, is my brain deliberately trying to sabotage me or something?
Not consciously, of course, but the brain is wired to, you know, look for patterns, create shortcuts. When you keep telling yourself, you know, I'm bad at something, your brain starts linking like those negative feelings to that activity.
Oh, wow.
It's like it creates a neural pathway, almost like a path in the woods. You know, you walk it enough and it gets, you know, really deep.
Yeah, like something.
So it becomes hard to, you know, to kind of break free.
So, okay, if those negative thoughts like create those pathways, can we use like positive affirmations, you know, to make new ones?
Yeah.
Like better ones. So if I keep saying I'm improving every day, my brain will start to believe it.
Yeah, exactly. It might feel a little weird at first, but if you're consistent, you know that positive reinforcement, it can actually rewire your brain. You're basically building new pathways, right, that link English learning with good emotions.
Yeah.
You know, motivation, sense of accomplishment.
That is so cool. But like, let's be real. Sometimes those old negative thought patterns, they're just comfy, you know?
Yeah.
Like wearing those old sweatpants full of holes, but they're just easy.
It's true, yeah. Yeah. We cling to familiar narratives, even if they're not, you know, helping us.
Right.
But you have to remember, change is always possible.
Yeah.
Think about, you know, Colonel Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he didn't reach his dream of, you know, making that fast food chain until he was in his 60s.
Wow. Starting a global brand in your 60s. That is like rewriting your story in a huge way. So anyone out there who thinks it's too late to get better at English,
Yeah.
you know, remember Colonel Sanders. It's never too late to try something new, even if it's a little scary at first.
Right. And it's important to remember reinventing yourself as a learner. It doesn't have to be like a huge overnight change.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
It's more about those small steps, those consistent steps towards what you want to achieve.
So instead of me being like, I need to be fluent by next month, it's more like, okay, I'm going to do 5 minutes of practice a day, or I'm going to listen to one English podcast.
Precisely, yeah. Small actions done regularly, that's what builds momentum. Like working out a muscle, right? You don't just walk into the gym and bench 200 pounds, you know?
Right.
You start small, you build strength, you get there eventually.
That makes sense. Okay, what about that voice in our head, though? That one that just loves to point out all our mistakes. You know, the inner critic.
The inner critic.
Like
Yeah. Everyone's got one, right?
Yeah.
It can be really discouraging, especially when you're, you know, tackling a new language. But good news is we can retrain that inner dialogue, you know, to be more supportive.
So instead of me being like, I'm so bad at this, I can say, I'm learning, I'm improving every day, even if it feels a little forced.
Exactly. Yeah, it might feel weird at first, but trust me, your brain will start to believe those positive statements.
Interesting.
You're essentially, you know, rewiring those pathways to connect English with good feelings, not self-criticism.
That is amazing. This is changing the way I think about learning. You know, it's like we've been accidentally sabotaging ourselves this whole time with all this negative self-talk.
And it's not just about the words, you know, it's about choosing to focus on your progress, not on, you know, what you think are your flaws.
Okay.
Everyone makes mistakes, especially with a new language, right? It's about seeing those mistakes as chances to learn and get better.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Instead of like beating myself up, I can use those mistakes as stepping stones.
Exactly. Remember, your environment, it plays a big part in this too.
Oh, yeah.
The spaces you're in can help you grow, or, you know, they can hold you back.
That's true. So, okay, for our English learners out there, what are some ways that they can create an environment that actually helps them learn? Like, how do you transform your everyday life into an English learning zone?
Well, you want to surround yourself with English as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
So, listen to podcasts in English, maybe change your phone's language to English.
I like that.
Maybe put up some sticky notes, with new vocabulary around your house. Just make English a natural part of your day, not just, something you study.
Oh, that's a good tip. So it's like building a whole ecosystem for language learning, not just like opening a textbook.
You got it. It's about making English a part of your life, not just another subject.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to learning. It's not just memorizing vocab and grammar. It's about creating an environment where if the language, it comes alive.
You nailed it. It's about making a space where you can dive into the language and let yourself learn naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about like taking action and all that, but maybe it's good to, just remember to be present in the process too.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get so focused on the end goal, like being fluent, that we kind of forget to enjoy the journey.
It's true. It's like we're in such a hurry to get to the destination that we miss all the scenery along the way.
Exactly. And that's where mindfulness can come in. If you're really present, paying attention to each step, it can actually make learning better.
So instead of just rushing through grammar exercises and stuff, I should slow down and really savor the process.
It's not always about slowing down, but it's about being aware of what you're doing.
Okay.
Noticing the sounds of English, the way the words go together, all the little details of how it's spoken.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you have a really delicious meal, you don't want to just scarf it down. You want to savor each bite.
Right, exactly. And by being present, by really being engaged, you can understand the language better, appreciate it more.
Totally.
And that can make learning so much more fun, so much more rewarding.
Speaking of enjoying the process, we were talking about visualization earlier. But what if this time, instead of just picturing ourselves speaking English fluently, we visualize the steps to get there?
That is a great idea, because by visualizing the process, you're breaking down this huge goal of fluency into smaller, more manageable steps, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like creating a roadmap in your mind.
Yeah, like a mental roadmap for our language learning journey.
Exactly. And each step on that roadmap, it's like a mini goal, a little victory that keeps you moving forward.
And each step, even if it's tiny, it makes us believe that we can actually become fluent.
It's a positive feedback loop. Every step you take gives you more motivation, keeps you going toward that goal.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but what about those times when we feel discouraged? Like those days when we just want to give up. We all have those, right?
Oh, absolutely. Those moments happen. It's part of learning anything new. But instead of seeing them as setbacks, what if we thought of them as opportunities?
Okay.
Opportunities to learn and grow.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Turning those stumbling blocks into stepping stones.
Exactly. Every challenge you overcome, every obstacle, it makes you more resilient. It makes you more committed to your goals.
Yeah, I like that. And sometimes it's like when you're struggling that you discover strengths you didn't even know you had.
You're so right. It's like you have to dig deep and find that determination, that creativity.
You have to get resourceful.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get through those tough times, you come out even stronger, more confident.
It's like leveling up in a video game. You face a tough boss, you struggle, you learn, you adapt, and you become stronger, more skilled.
I love that analogy. It makes the whole thing seem less intimidating, more exciting.
Exactly. It's about enjoying the journey, even the ups and downs, and knowing that every experience, good or bad, helps you grow.
This whole conversation has been so empowering. It's like we've been given all these new tools, not just to get better at English, but to change our whole way of thinking about learning.
And the best part is these tools can be used for anything, not just language.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Anything where you want to grow, to transform.
It's all about having that growth mindset, right? That belief that we can keep learning and developing.
And knowing that our potential is limitless.
Yeah. So what does all this mean for you, the listener? It means you can reinvent yourself as an English learner.
You can break free from those beliefs that might have been holding you back.
You can create an environment that helps you grow, build your confidence.
You can build habits and routines that make learning English fun and rewarding.
You can embrace those challenges and celebrate every victory along the way.
And most importantly, you can achieve fluency because you have the power to make it happen.
Now, as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive, let me leave you with something to think about.
Yeah.
What's one small step you can take today, right now, to start reinventing yourself as an English learner?
Think about it, and let's get started. Reinvention is a journey, not a destination. And the most important step is the one you take now.
Wow, this deep dive has been like a total eye-opener, all about how to reinvent ourselves as English learners. It's been incredible.
Yeah, we've covered so much ground, from self-perception, visualization, to embracing the whole journey and celebrating those little wins.
And we talked about mindfulness, how that can make learning deeper.
Yeah.
And how looking at challenges as, opportunities can actually help us grow.
Right. It's been really inspiring to see how, these ideas can be used not just for language, but for anything you want to improve in your life,
So true. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's go over a few key takeaways for everyone listening, things to really think about.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so first up, remember how you see yourself. That really can shape your reality.
That's huge. If you believe you can be fluent, your brain will actually work to make that happen. It's amazing.
It is. And don't forget the power of those small, consistent actions,
Right. 5 minutes of practice every day, over time, that can lead to big changes.
Totally. And surround yourself with English,
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Make it part of your daily life. Music, podcasts, movies, even just chatting with people.
Exactly. And most importantly, commit to the journey. The ups, the downs, all of it.
Embrace those challenges. Celebrate the wins. Never give up on that dream of fluency.
Because you have the power to reinvent yourself as an English learner.
You absolutely do.
And we believe in you every step of the way.